Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. This week I'm going to be taking a look at 5 films, 2 new-to-theater movies, which include Project Almanac and The Loft. I'll be taking a look at Mordecai, which is currently in theaters, and new to DVD and Blu-Ray releases, The Judge and the Book of Life. Let's start off with some time-traveling teens. Here's my review of Project Almanac. After seeing an odd visual in an old family video, a teen realizes his dad was in the process of building a time-traveling device. After a number of experiments, he and a group of friends dabble into going back in time. So what did I think of Project Almanac? I thought it's a fun sci-fi action film. Now, it is a shaky cam found footage movie, and while I've said in the past that I've grown tired of them, this has an interesting premise where the style actually pays off. There's some slick action during the time traveling, including some flying objects and bursts. And while it could have been cheesy, there's comedy that is pulled off well. The teens can travel 3 weeks back or 3 weeks forward and start out doing simple things, such as going back to pass a test, getting revenge on enemies, and even winning the lottery. You know you'd do it. They then branch out and travel 3 months back to Lollapalooza, where a bunch of important things go down. You know, like an Imagine Dragons concert. Soon they realize, though, because of the traveling, they've affected world events and debate whether they should continue or go back and change it. The cast are all likable and do a nice job, starring Johnny Weston as David Raskin, the tech genius who finds the time machine and wants to use it to get into his first choice college. The gorgeous, yeah, we need a sound clip for that one.
She's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. Yeah. Sophia Black-D'Elia as Jessie, the girl David has a crush on that finds out about his experiments and wants in. I'd like to time travel into her pants. Oh yeah. Sam Lerner and Alan Evangelista as Quinn and Adam, David's best friends who go along for the ride, and Ginny Gardner as Christina, David's sister who records all of the experiments. I went into Project Almanac with little to no expectations, but came out having a blast. I'm gonna give it the rating of do it. Yeah, I know, I'm surprised, but I really enjoyed Project Almanac, probably my favorite film of the year so far, shockingly. Now, how'd that naked dead woman get onto my bed? Don't look at me, here's my review of The Loft. 5 married friends decide to split a secret loft in the city for whatever extracurricular activities they may desire. One morning they find a dead woman handcuffed to the bed. The guys must try to figure out who killed the lady in question and how she ended up there. So what did I think of The Loft? I thought it's a lackluster thriller. It's a remake of a 2008 Belgian film which shares the same director. It was actually shot back in 2011, but was pushed back because of losing its distributor until now. The film begins seeing one of the guys talking to police about what has already taken place, kicking off the convoluted timeline. It's not that it's hard to tell what's going on when, but it is distracting. The story is packed with so many twists and turns and double crosses, I thought I was watching a Pirates of the Caribbean film. I was cool with the first twist, but it's basically ruined with one twist too many, causing the finale to leave a bad taste in my mouth. Unfortunately, we don't really care about the characters too much, as almost all the guys are horn dogs who cheat on their wives, or the ladies being all either miserable or easy. 'Cause I'm easy! Easy like Isabel Lucas. Oh yeah, baby. Alright, the cast do give some nice performances, starring Carl Urban as Vincent Stevens, the architect who comes up with the loft idea, James Marsden as Chris Van Owen, a psychiatrist whose relationship with his wife is falling apart, Wentworth Miller as Luke, a doctor who doesn't want to cheat on his wife, Eric Stonestreet from Modern Family. I'm like, what is this guy doing in here? I didn't see him in any of the previews. It was sort of a surprise, as Marty, a software executive who provides some comic relief, Matthias Skonarts, I probably butchered that name, but whatevs, who reprises his role as Philip from the past film, Chris's brother who has a drug problem, Rachel Taylor as Anne, the sister of one of Chris's patients he gets involved with, and Isabel Lucas as Sarah, Vincent's woman on the side. Turn on your side, woman. Alright, I enjoyed the premise and some of the Loft's ideas, but it becomes too muddled for its own good. I'm gonna give it the rating of meh, it's okay. We're gonna look at a film currently in theaters. Will this be the first time I give Johnny Depp a positive rating since 2011? Not counting Into the Woods because he was only in it for like 5 minutes. But will this be his first starring role I give a positive review since 2011? Since Pirates of the Caribbean, the last one I believe. We'll find out. Here's my review of Mordecai. An elite art dealer is recruited to find the whereabouts of a stolen painting said to contain the code for a bank account with Nazi gold. So what did I think of Mordecai? I thought it's a dreadful action comedy adapted from a book anthology. So the streak continues. This is one of those films where I'm thinking, don't the actors, writers, producers, and director realize how bad this is as it's filming? We get the usual action scenes we're accustomed to, featuring a brawl in a casino, shootouts, and car chases, which are all forgettable here. The laughs flop at every turn, and I believe I only chuckled once. The story sees Mordecai going into bankruptcy, investigating a murder and stolen painting, traveling to Russia, where he almost gets his crown jewels electrocuted. I felt like I was getting my crown jewels electrocuted by watching this film. Getting in the middle of gunfire, facing off against a Borat look-alike villain, and finally having to travel to America. There's also a predictable and eye-rolling art auction finale. Johnny Depp stars as Lord Charlie Mordecai, the aristocrat searching for a painting. While Depp has played some great oddball characters in the past, this should be considered an embarrassment to his resume. The rest of the cast includes Gwyneth Paltrow as Joanna, Charlie's wife who doesn't trust him and comes along on the mission, Paul Bettany as Jock, Mordecai's manservant who does all of his bidding, Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan, as Martland, the inspector who talks Charlie into helping them out and also has feelings for Joanna, Jeff Goldblum as Cramp, the rich American looking to purchase the stolen art, Olivia Munn as Georgina, Cramp's daughter who's a nymphomaniac, and Jonathan Pavlovsky as Emil, the main suspect in the crime. Mordecai fails on almost every level and will most likely be one of the worst films released this year. I'm gonna give it the rating of, get that mustache ready, suck it. Yeah, this is not good. And by the preview I had a little hope. I thought, how could a cast this packed with stars be this bad? But it was. Okay, this next film was released on DVD and Blu-ray this past week and has been considered a fan favorite film. Here are my thoughts on The Judge. A hotshot lawyer returns to his hometown after the death of his mother and has to face his estranged father, who's a judge, and his brothers. After a car accident, the judge is charged with hit-and-run murder, and his son must represent him in court. So what did I think of The Judge? I thought it's an average drama. The courtroom scenes themselves aren't really that compelling and doesn't wow the audience like it should. There's also a ton of melodramatic moments with arguments between the characters, especially with the cliché father-son storyline. There are a few lighter moments that balance out the heavier, more serious parts. The film drags on for almost 2.5 hours and should have left a few things on the cutting room floor. Robert Downey Jr. stars as Hank Palmer, the big-time defense attorney who is in for the most personal case of his career. Downey once again plays the lovable D-bag with great ease. Robert Duvall does fine work as well as Joseph Palmer, the judge on trial going through some personal and health problems. Duvall earned an Oscar nomination amongst others for the performance. The rest of the cast includes Vera Farmiga as Samantha, Hank's high school girlfriend who works at the town diner, Billy Bob Thornton as Dwight Dickham. Yeah, you heard that right. The prosecutor trying to convict Joseph. Leonton Meester, oh yeah, Meester, as Carla, Samantha's daughter, who Hank feels he might just be the father of, and Vincent D'Onofrio and Jeremy Strong as Hank's brothers. With as talented as a cast this is, the judge's script should have been superior. I'm gonna give it the rating of meh. You know, it's okay. And finally, also released on DVD this week, here is my review of the animated feature, The Book of Life. Two very different friends vying for the same girl end up in an important wager between ancient gods, and antics ensue for all involved. So what did I think of The Book of Life? I thought it's a unique animated adventure. The beautiful animation shines on the screen, showcasing elements of Mexican culture, such as the Day of the Dead. There are quite a few laughs here, but also a few sweet moments, as well as including romantic moments between characters in love, and a father-son storyline, which I just said was cliche in The Judge, but evidently here it's not. The story also sees the main character being disowned by his family for not wanting to kill a bull during a bullfight and take up music instead. Speaking of, there are some very interesting versions of the songs from Mumford & Sons and Radiohead performed in the film as well. I'm surprised they didn't get those songs for Strange Magic, as I reviewed last week. While all of this is going on, banditos are set to attack the village, and our hero must rally a gang, both living and dead, to save his home. The fun voice cast includes Diego Luna as Manolo Sanchez, a young man who doesn't want to follow his family tradition. Zoe Saldana as Maria, Manolo's love interest. Channing Tatum as Joaquin, the hero of San Angel, also fighting for Maria's hand. Ron Perlman as Xibalba, I think that's right, the ruler of the land of the forgotten. And Kate Del Castillo as La Muerta, the ruler of the land of the remembered, who takes her husband Exalbaba's bet on which boy will bag Maria. I said bag. I know, it's a family movie. That's in the extra credit Easter egg bonus scenes. Anyway, it's a bit unconventional, but The Book of Life is an entertaining, family-friendly experience. Except for that Easter egg scene I just talked about. So I'm gonna give it the rating of do it. Yes, Book of Life, it's not a classic, but it's a pretty good animated film. Well, that does it for this week. Next week, I'll see you right back here, same West time, same West channel, when I review such movies as Jupiter Ascending and SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah, that'll be fun. And it'll probably be better than Mordecai. I'll give you that. But anyway, until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/WestsideOf515. Check out all my videos. You can like me on Facebook, Facebook.com/WestTroupeAlist. Follow me on the Twitter @WesAlist. And of course, you can subscribe to my Instagram as well, @WesAlist. I think you see a pattern here. Also, my book, my 2014 book has been published. And it is in pre-sale now. So if you're interested in picking up my 2014 movie yearbook, get at me at one of those addresses. Twitter, Facebook, whatevs. Tell me you want one, and I will put you in the pre-sale category. So, until next time, Troop out.